Hi, this is Kiara Advani and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.
आज हमारे साथ में है कियारा अडवाणी। कमाल की बैक टू बैक फिल्म्स इनकी रही हैं रिसेंट टाइम्स में। भूल भुलैया 2 एंड जुग जुग जियो, दोनों में परफॉर्मेंस बहुत अच्छा था। इनके काम को बहुत अप्रिशिएट किया गया। मैं इनको इनकी पहली फिल्म से जानता हूँ और मैं बहुत से एक्टर्स और एक्ट्रेसेस के साथ में मेरे इंटरेक्शंस रहे हैं, लेकिन मैं कियारा के बारे में एक बात मैं कह सकता हूँ कि दैट शी इज़ वन एक्टर जिन्होंने अपने काम को बोलने दिया है। शी हैज़ नेवर कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड ऑन एनी थिंग विच इज़ एसोसिएटेड विद the show business. And that is, I think, hugely commendable. Priya, having you back once again, Kiara.
Thank you.
And मैं अभी आ रहा था तो मैं सोच रहा था इसके बारे में. It's really commendable. You've always maintained this very dignified sort of stance, and you've always preferred to talk about your work and let your work do the talking, and which is really commendable.
Thank you. No, I believe that, and I mean I'm here for that. So I always feel that, rather than replying or saying anything, just let your work speak. From my early days to now, and it's so nice to hear that you've observed that about the way things have gone for me. So thank you.
नहीं, I think I totally mean it. I still remember क्या होता है कि आप रिसर्च का मुझे लगता है कि एक पार्ट ये भी होता है that you just remember all the times. And मुझे याद है पहली बार जब आप आए थे हम लोग के ऑफिस में फगली के टाइम पे, and the way you conducted yourself, that is how you've conducted yourself. And the interesting part is that you've grown from strength to strength, which is definitely commendable. तो कभी आपको ये एडवाइस नहीं दिया था कि कुछ कंट्रोवर्सी कुछ करो, कुछ कंट्रोवर्शियल बोलो, कुछ न्यूज़ आनी चाहिए जिससे कि कुछ थोड़ा सा? और मेरे पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस में आई थिंक ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. अल्टीमेटली आपका काम बोलेगा.
But I don't think, I think it's person to person, I don't know, but I feel like I only want my work to be spoken of. There's nothing else about me or my life that I would like to be made, public, other than the work I do, the films I make, the characters I play, or basically things that are pertaining and containing to this field. I don't know, nobody's ever said that. I think it'd be very strange. I would find it very strange if somebody told me. I don't think I would be able to relate to that person at all. And because you mentioned this from the first film to now, I think it also a large part of it goes to just the people I'm surrounded by in my workspace, in terms of my immediate team, my management, the people I work with. I think they've been with me from the very start, and that's a quality of mine. I think the ethics are in place when it comes to stuff like this. So be it me or be it them, I think there's a similarity in the way we think.
Right.
And so that's why it's always been like, let our work speak. So even if there, sometimes you have things written about you before film comes out, and people speculating about the part in the film or this and that. And so we've always maintained the silence of jab film release hogi, then let people see and then comment on the work. And that's how I'll always be, for sure.
Right. And now for JugJugJeeyo, for example, the sort of response that is coming your way, I'm sure it must be very heartening, because मुझे लगता है कि I think it's one of your best performances.
It is very, very heartening, and I was not expecting that review from everyone, that it's your best performance and one of your best performances. But it feels so good, yeah. It feels so good that you're able to break away from the last best performance and then have another character being loved and appreciated, and your performance being loved and appreciated. I mean, at the end of the day, when the film releases, that's all you're looking for, that love, that validation. So it's very, very heartening. It's like we work hard and then you feel, oh, thank God they've loved it. And JugJug is special for many reasons, be it collaborating with Raj for the second time. I really feel Raj is one director who's tapped into a certain potential of mine. When he gave me Good News, for that matter, it's again a role that so many people I meet come up to me and be like, we loved you in Good News. And it was very different for me. It's, in terms of doing something with comedy, but also something far louder than who I am. And then now with JugJug, again, he's given me something which is far more mature and wiser. So these are parts that I hadn't played on screen, and he somehow saw the potential. So I always feel like Raj, he always has something special when he comes to me.
I personally feel, and this is entirely from the experience that I've had, that मुझे लगता है कि बहुत बार ऐसी चीज़ें होती हैं जिनका हम शायद रियलाइज़ भी नहीं करते हैं, बट आई थिंक उनका कहीं ना कहीं एक इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है। ये जो आपका किरदार है उसमें एक इट्स अ प्रोग्रेसिव कैरेक्टर, यू नो, शी इज़ नॉट प्लेइंग द सेकंड fiddle to the husband. She is willing to be supportive, and she's contributing in her own way. She's not being arrogant, but at the same time she wants her own voice, and her own profession, and the fact that her own individuality, and she fights for it. जो सेकेंड हाफ का मैं जिक्र कर रहा था आपसे कि जिस तरीके की कॉन्फ्रंटेशन सीन आपका है वरुण के साथ, आई थिंक कमाल का है, एंड आई थिंक इट इज़ रिटन ब्यूटिफुली. इट्स नॉट merely ड्रामा, बट ऑल्सो वट यू आर ट्राइंग टू से इज समथिंग विच इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट. नाउ बहुत बार क्या होता है कि आई थिंक हर चीज़ में एक कम्युनिटी है. The way you're looking in the film, for example, in terms of your style quotient, there is a community which is going to talk about that. There's also a community that is going to talk about the progressive element of your character.
Yeah.
How important are these various communities to you, and do you think from that perspective as an artist, the sort of impact that everything that you're doing or saying is having somehow?
Absolutely, and with JugJug more so, because it was a role which was very forward. It was also something I resonate with very much. I feel this is a character that is very personal to me. It's a mindset that I relate to. It's almost like it's me in that role. And when we were reading, when we were putting down, certain pointers that we wanted to make, like when you mentioned the confrontation scene, it is a scene that we worked on extensively. We did, there were a lot of things that we discussed, added, and then Raj put it into the dialogue. But there were a lot of days we spent just saying, what is the point they're both trying to make? It's not that she's not supportive. It's not that she doesn't want to balance her personal life and her professional life. It's not that she wants to put the pressure on him either. As a wife, she wants to just be equally supporting the family that they have. And I felt that's very progressive. I felt it's very today. I know that people from my generation especially think like that. And even be it the relationship between the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, I think it's so refreshing to see that in Hindi cinema.
Absolutely.
To see two women stand by each other and be there for each other at a time like this. So I think all these all these points that were being put across were so refreshing for me to read in a commercial Hindi film. In a proper family drama, as we've seen, but you're taking it a step forward and you're making it relevant, you're making it today, and not in a way that you're not showing anyone to be right or wrong. It's just a perspective, and that's what I loved about it. So when I read that fight scene, and when I even saw it, it's not like he's wrong, she's right. It's none of that. It's just two people hearing each other's perspectives. It's that lack of communication, and you just feel like they both have things to say, and they're just two different perspectives. So how do we merge that and come to a common understanding? And for me, that was so refreshing to see in our Hindi movie.
राइट ना, एक चीज़ मैं आपसे बहुत टाइम से मैं आपसे पूछना चाह रहा था, मैं आज पूछ ही लेता हूँ आपसे ना. आपका एक बहुत ही यूनिक आपका एक एक्सपीरियंस आपका रहा है कि दैट यू हैड वन ऑफ योर बिगेस्ट फिल्म इन कबीर सिंह. Now that film was scaling heights of success that I think no one has ever seen maybe before. Music की इस level की popularity की that I think unbelievable in more ways than one. But at the same time कहीं ना कहीं वो एक बहुत ही एक shrill सा एक criticism भी था, चाहे वो शाहिद के किरदार के लिए हो, चाहे वो आपके किरदार के लिए भी हो. वो आपका experience रहा? How did you assimilate the entire success that came your way and the sort of criticism that was coming your way as well?
I didn't know at the time how to, whether to take in the fact that, this was a career-changing moment for me, because there was a lot of love coming in right after the film released. But there was that one side which was questioning a lot of important things about the film as well. And at that point, it was so overwhelming. I didn't know whether I should enjoy this moment and look at it like this is the successful moment of my career, or whether to sit and indulge in those other conversations as well. And it was constantly being asked me. The fact that you're asking me today, it's been like I've had this as a constant ever since the film released. I don't think I fully
I'm just saying about the overall experience.
Yeah.
Overall experience.
I'm not
saying about any things specific.
I feel personally, I don't feel I've enjoyed any film success. Like when you talk about commercial success, I don't feel I've allowed it to ever sink in. As for the other side of it, So this is how my outlook has been. I feel on one hand it's great that it sparked a conversation. On the other hand, it's just different perspectives. I mean, firstly, every film is going to be subjective. You're not going to have every single person enjoy the film the way you might enjoy it. So there were different opinions on the film. My opinion has always been very clear, and I mean, naturally, I would side by the film. That's why I did the film, because I had full faith and belief in the creative aspect of the story and the characterization that we were doing and that we were portraying. I feel for me, deep down, it's a love story. And it's a love story, and the thing is about love is that that's the only thing that will allow you to forgive certain, behaviors in life. And the thing with relationships are, it's so complex. It's very easy as a third person for me, even for me as a third person, if I'm hearing about a relationship and, I heard that, someone has cheated on someone, or someone has, been who has not been respectful of the other person, has slapped someone, all of that, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? Get out of this relationship. But it's very easy for me to say that because I'm not in the relationship. But for two people in that relationship, it's another complication altogether. And with Kabir Singh and with Preeti, I felt that they went through the beats of failure in their relationship. Her leaving him, planning to raise that child on her own, leaving her father's house. After that slap in that interval scene, which was blown out of proportion, she leaves the man. You don't see that. You forget about that. The fact that she comes back at the end, when he comes back to her, is when there was a section who wanted that, she shouldn't have taken it back.
Correct.
But then if we went that route, I mean, it's Sandeep Banga, it's his story, and that's his outlook. And I do feel personally that that's what made it all heart at the end. That moment between these two when they're confronting each other, and she tells him that, you up, basically, sorry for my language. But that's when, and then eventually the way she can't, I mean, the end of the day, this is the love of her life who's in front of her, and she gives in. I mean, that's what love does, I guess. So it's very complicated, very complex to really make right and wrong of a relationship like that. It is between two people, and I think that's what people who went into the film, I think that's what they picked on, the love story and the purity of the love story. Yes, they were not perfect people. They were not idealistic people. And more importantly, I think, he did see a downfall, and life will be hard on you, and that's what he saw after that. That whole second half is his complete downfall. He's not living the best life after all the shit he's done and put her through. So I did feel, for me, it justified everything in the film. But when you pick a character and take it out of, take a scene out of, and context, blow it out of proportion, then you're just talking about that scene. You're not seeing the film in totality. And it's a film. We're not trying to, how do I put it? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a movie, and it's not, it's a story, and I looked at it like that. I think people made them to be almost like lifelike, and like, this is real, and this is, we're not trying to say this is okay or this is not okay. That was not the point we were making with that film anyway. So then I moved on from that.
But considering the sort of intense, I think, involvement that you've seen,
yeah.
Has it impacted your choices and the way you look at scripts, and are there moments when you feel that क्या इसको tweak कर सकते हैं थोड़ा सा? आजकल तो किसी भी चीज के ऊपर controversy हो सकती है, and किसी भी तरीके की controversy हो सकती है.
Yeah, true. I feel I have evolved as a person and as an actor, and evolved even in my choices. I mean, today the way I think, it will show in the choices that I make. It will. It's a natural progression of life. It's a natural progression for me as a person also. So, I think that's why when I say let my work speak, right after Kabir Singh there was a Guilty. There's a Naina today in JugJugJeeyo. So I feel there will be all kinds of characters. But that doesn't mean I won't play a grey-shaded character. That doesn't mean I won't want to play an imperfect character. I mean, yes, sometimes I would hope it would be looked at in the context to the film. But as an actor, sometimes it's very challenging. In fact, if you ask me, my toughest role was that role. It's difficult for an outside person to probably understand that, but it was my toughest role till date, and I would hope to push the boundaries further, but it definitely was a very challenging role for me.
Many nuances, there's no doubt about that. There's a lot of nuances, and the graph and the curve is very interesting as well. Okay, now, मैंने आपको, जैसे मैंने आपसे जिक्र किया कि पहली फिल्म से मैं आपको जानता हूँ. Now, in your personal space, you're this extremely reserved person. You don't even rapid fires में भी आप बहुत बार actors and actresses they get carried away, and they end up swooning and using stuff about other actors and actresses. But you're extremely guarded in whatever you say in terms. You're fun. You have a fun element. लेकिन आपका एक अलग definition है fun element का. So in that context, when you have these speculations about your personal life, how do you handle that? Because I don't think for a person like you, it must be tough to handle the speculations that tend to happen.
I try and not put too much focus and emphasis on that, because it's very special. It's something I want to protect and I want to keep that way. And like you said in the beginning, I want my work to speak. I mean, that's my focus, and that is that's what I want the audience to know me through. I think it's incredible that we get to do, I get to connect to people through characters, and they know me through these characters. That's why it's very, very special, this bond that I think as an actor and as the audience we share. That the ability to just touch someone through a certain emotion, through laughter, through just like a fuzzy, warm feeling where they feel like they know you, they connect with you on screen. Maybe a character gives you hope, it gives you a perspective. I feel it's a very unique equation. And that's how people who watch me or know me, that's how they associate me, that's what they associate me with. And I would want them to have that as the context to the equation that I share. I don't want to be known for anything other than my work.
All right. मतलब अगर दिल अगर हारना है तो फिल्मों में हारना अच्छा ज़्यादा है. That is something which should be the case. Okay, now I think you've had some pretty big songs. अगर हम सिर्फ जुग जुग जियो की बात करें तो I think जो रंगी सारी है या फिर नच पंजाब है, I think आज से 10 साल के बाद में 15 साल के बाद में there will be instances when you will travel, say for example to New York, and people will want you to give them a perspective on these songs. And that's how I think the pop culture is, which we discussed in the interview, and it's so fascinating. Do you approach your songs from that perspective? You've had the experience of Kabir Singh, for example. Now you've had the example of Bhul Bhulaiya as well, and this one too, JugJugJeeyo as well. क्या आप देखते हैं उस नज़र से कि that how these songs they are going to एक तरीके से पहचान बनेंगे आपकी आगे चल
100%. I think songs are a big, it's the USP of Hindi films. I feel just our songs, the way they connect with the audience, and then like so one thing that it has longevity, right? You'll watch the film, you'll watch it on TV, you'll watch it probably on OTT after, but songs are just they're eternal. And I think I'm very lucky. Kabir Singh was the first album I got where I think all the songs did well. Even Shahryar for that matter, I think Ranjha and Rata Lambya again really hit it out. It was like on the top two for almost months and months and months. Bhul Bhulaiya has been ruling the charts as well, and now with JugJugJeeyo, I mean that Nach Punjaban everywhere we go. I remember the other day someone randomly, a fan was like, "Can we make a reel?" And I was like, "Oh my God, we're still doing this! It's amazing! It's amazing that we that we have another, like, I mean, because especially in India, it's a celebration. We're always looking for any excuse to celebrate, and you need music for that at that point. And whether it's weddings, I mean, even now when I go for my friends' weddings or cousins, and they're dancing to the songs, and they happen to be my songs, whether it's been the recent ones or then even from the ones maybe a year, 2 years ago, it definitely makes me happy to see that they're performing to my songs, or we're all dancing on my songs, or of course when all the shows come up, it's fun. So songs are a big part of our films.
Absolutely. In fact, Asi's Kaur was in our office recently.
Yeah.
And she sang Rata Lambya for us and all that. And I think it's a fabulous song. I think beautiful song.
And she's got a beautiful voice.
She's got a beautiful voice, absolutely. So, Kiara, we've taken a few fan questions. Let's see what your fans have to say. This is Varma from Hyderabad. Generally, Shankar sir brings the best out of heroines in his movies with the songs, costumes, and direction. Can you tell me about your experience of RC15, Shankar sir's visual grandeur? Can we expect any song like Shaka Laka Baby?
You can. Okay, I'm not going to tell you all what to expect. It's still early. We're still shooting the film. I in fact started the film shoot with a big song, which is in Shankar sir style. So you hopefully I've done justice to it. And he's a perfectionist. He's a thorough perfectionist. I mean, everything from the set to the costumes to the song to the beats to the steps. he just goes all out, and it shows. I think it shows. That's why his films are larger than life. And it's an experience that I feel I'm very fortunate to have experienced this in my career. I go straight back into shoot within a week. I'm super excited to go back on that set. But like they don't say much. In the South, we're not allowed to talk too much about the film till it releases.
Absolutely.
So I like that. So I'm not going to say more. But it's a very, very special experience for sure.
Okay, now Kiara, do you think you have enough experience now? 8 साल आपको हो चुके हैं. Do you look at say songs for example from the perspective of the frame? कि frame कैसा दिखेगा बड़े screen के ऊपर? Because you've had some really big songs and framing उनकी बहुत अच्छी है. चाहे वो रंगी सारी है, चाहे वो नच पंजाब है, only in the recent times if you can pull Baraiya of course. आप क्या सोचती हैं उस तरीके से कि frame कैसा दिखेगा?
See, all these songs like the 2 songs that you mentioned, Rangi Sari, Nach Punjaban, even Shankar sir, I think I'm in the best, working with the best people, whether it's Bosco who's choreographing it, we're working with the best technicians, the best DOPs, the best directors, Shankar sir, his vision as well. So I feel when you're in that, you just surrender and they're going to create magic. You just give it your best. So I'm more thinking about my steps and my expressions and just feeling it and getting into it.
That's amazing.
I try not to be critical. I mean, that's not my, those are not my expertise.
I'm not saying critical, but do you imagine that, this may be the way it may finally look like?
Oh yeah. Of course. All the time. I'm always imagine it on the big screen because you're doing it for that, right? All the time. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. This is Shivani Rai from Delhi. Hi Kiara, your birthday is coming up on 31st July.
Hi,
so he's
Shivani.
wishing you a very happy birthday in advance. May you keep shining bright and bright. So how would you be celebrating your birthday this year? Any special plans for your birthday?
Hi Shivani. Shivani's been a very loyal fan of mine and she's very sweet. I meet her every time I'm promoting in Delhi. I honestly don't know my plans for my birthday. Right now I'm supposed to be shooting and I think that will be the best plan for now.
Now apparently a fan of yours walked up the steps of your building and came up to your... That must be a scary experience.
No, not scary. It was, obviously when like the doorbell rings and it's someone you don't know, you do feel like, how. But I wish he took the lift because taking the stairs, I stay on a very high floor. That must have been quite a tedious task. But yeah, I think they just had to up the security in the building now.
All right. Okay. This is Akshi from Delhi. When are you announcing your next projects? We have been waiting for so long now.
I don't know. It depends when the production houses decide to make the announcements. So when they do, you'll know.
What about Kabir Singh Part 2?
I also read there was some news about that. No, I have no idea. We often, not about Kabir Singh Part 2, but often whenever I meet Sandeep sir, Shahid, we always talk about collaborating again. We would love to. So I hope, Murad Bhai, Sandeep sir, Shahid and I do collaborate again.
I think you and Shahid share a crackling chemistry.
Thank you.
We've
been
hoping that comfort level is there. I think you guys share a comfort level which I think is very important with any co-star. That I think with Varun as well you have a very very good comfort level which is amazing. Tamogna from Kolkata. Hi Kiara, I'm one of your biggest fans. I really want to know whether will you ever try in an action or thriller movie in the future or not. I think it may suit you.
Thank you. I really want to do an action movie. 2022 is hopefully the year I will do an action movie.
Amazing.
I'm only putting it out there now.
Amazing. But ये जो आपके इसमें जुगजुग में जो आपके the corporate आपके जो look था, I think you carried that very nicely. Have you done that before?
No, not in a film.
Maybe you've not.
Yeah.
Manoj Siege from Kolkata. Hey, ma'am, what's your inner feeling right now after having back-to-back 3 super hit movies? Tell something about your upcoming projects. Huge fans of yours. Lots of love and respect for you. Always the next big thing in Hindi cinema. Next big thing, she's already the big thing.
Oh, sweet. Thank you. I'm feeling very, very happy right now that the movies and everyone associated with the film is getting so much love. Both the movies back to back. I feel like a little bit of a sigh, like, thank God, because for 4 months, I've literally gone from one film to the other film, promoting it and the whole campaign to get the film to theatres. So, literally when Bhool Bhulaiya released, I didn't have time to even enjoy
that's what I was
the
noticing.
success. I wasn't even at the success party. I had to rush to promotions
she's got
for the
into
next.
Promotions for the...
Yeah, literally. And I was telling my team, I'm like, I hope people are not puck out, but thank God that they weren't, and thank you for all the love and, for giving me so much love back to back. I forgot the second part of the question. I was just busy. I just have only thank you
love
to
and
say
respect
right
for
now.
you always and all that. So that's
Thank
okay.
you.
Okay, when are we gonna see her in a woman-centric films like Gangubai or Mimi? This is Prasoon from Gwalior. You did Indu Ki Jawani.
Yeah, and guilty.
Guilty as well.
Well, I mean, I am reading scripts, and again, hopefully 2022 will be the year.
This is Upuli from Sri Lanka. How did it feel to surprise fans in the theatre when they were there to watch your movie?
Oh, amazing! Because I think to get that live feedback, which was so genuine, you know, there was everybody's fans were sitting in that audience, and I'm not sure if they knew we were going to come, because I think in a way they got so happy that, you know, we came towards the end of our film when they were watching it, but the feedback was so genuine, and there was like a discussion about scenes and a discussion about performances, and just to hear it from the audience in person, we don't get to do that often. You know, even when I've gone to theaters to watch films and like sat at the back, meaning my own films, if I've sat at the back and waited till the end and just to get reactions and see if they're laughing at the right points, if they're engaged. And when we leave, of course, they all want to come for a photo, but there's never that time that you can sit and have this one-on-one, not one-on-one, but like literally like an interaction with the audience. So this was that first for all of us. And honestly, I felt it was such a genuine response that we got. There wasn't even like a bias. It wasn't like, because there was it was not just a particular fan club, it was everybody's. It was just this unanimous selection from the audience that got to see it before it released. So it felt amazing.
Great. This is Nitin Rathod. Everyone is getting married. You please do not marry it so soon. We want to see you more on big screen.
But even if I get married, you will see me on the big screen. Why should I not continue working whenever that happens? But yes, right now, as of now, your wish is coming true. I'm not getting married right now. I'm sitting here and having a great interview.
This is Saroj Maske from Nepal. When are you going to work with SRK?
The question should be, when is he going to work with me? Because I would love to work with Shah Rukh sir. I'm a huge fan, like everyone is. And I hope that we get an opportunity to work together and collaborate.
Alright, this is Adil from Ahmedabad. Is there any difficulty while doing that bedroom scene of yours, your argument with Varun Dhawan? Because I think it wasn't that easy.
You're right.
Was it like one take?
So
Kaise kiya tha aapne?
So we did, it's a one shot. Most of the scene is held in one shot. We did a couple of takes for that shot. We had choreographed it. We went on location during the day. It was a night shoot. We went during the day. We just, Jay, who's the DOP of the film, Raj, Varun and I, and the ADs, we were just seeing that, you know, he'd enter from the bedroom, the camera catches me, and there's a lot of fluidity and movement in the scene. You know, I'm getting ready for bed, putting cream on myself, putting my laptop away, he's changing his clothes, all of this is happening. So it's just like a normal couple going to bed who have no plans of having a conversation that night, and then how one thing sparks and leads to the other. So just that, like, you know, closing the door, have like, why are you speaking so loudly? They'll be able to hear us. Have all these little things that we kind of improvised in the scene while we were doing it a couple of times.
Right.
And then, of course, it goes into from a regular argument to heightened drama and then an outburst, so to say. And it was that pent up. I mean, through the film, you're kind of wondering, but why do these two not want to be together? What's going on? You know, you get a sense of the fact that she's doing better. You know, maybe things have. But there was no conversation until that scene. So it was really like an outburst, and they were finally telling each other everything they felt. So to reach that level, we did a couple of takes. It was difficult, you're right. It was not an easy scene. But I think we had spent so much time prepping for that scene in terms of what we wanted to say, that Raj also gave us a free hand while we were performing the scene to ad-lib and say whatever extra we wanted to, which I think we even did when we see it now. I can tell. But I think it was one of the best scenes. I'm sure we both went home, back to the hotel, that it's satisfied that,
definitely,
you know,
definitely, वो लग रहा है.
कुछ तो मतलब magic हुआ है.
Magic हुआ है, नहीं? I think magic है उसके अंदर. Magic है. And you know, I think किसी भी scene में अगर ऐसा हो कि that अरे यार ये तो चले जा रहा है. You know, it's going and it's going to a next level and next level and next level. So as an audience, you feel a sense of wow, which I think is always a very positive, thing. This is Bhavik Maru from Gandhinagar, Gujarat. Ma'am, we saw you with Salman sir in Being Human photo shoot, and we love the chemistry of yours with him. When shall we see both of you in movie? We hear the rumor about casting both of you in No Entry Mein Entry. I think that's just a rumor, maybe because I've worked with Anis, so they must have assumed that. I don't know where that rumor came from. I would love to work with Salman sir again. No one's offered me any script with sir, but whenever that happens again, I would love to work with him. Great. This is Ishan from Tamil Nadu. Which actress is your best friend in Bollywood? Can you share a few words about them?
That's sweet. Sorry to disappoint you. I don't think I can't say anyone is my any actress is my best friend in Bollywood, because I think most of the friends that I've made have been people I've worked with, and I've not really worked with another actress in that sense to have a best friend. I'm extremely fond of all of the actresses who I know personally. And all my best friends are my girlfriends from school.
Right.
I have a handful of girlfriends who are my best friends, and I think that's a very special place and will always be.
So, Kiara, we'll end this interview with a rapid fire with you. पिछले इंटरव्यू में आपने रैपिड फायर में आपने जिक्र किया था कि I'm prepping for my coffee with Karan.
Yeah.
So when are we going to see you?
I don't know when the episode airs, but soon I think, they've all started airing, I think.
Right.
I'm sure soon. I don't know when ours
कौन सी
airs.
controversial चीजें उसमें आ
Oh
रही
God, bhai, in the beginning when you started saying that in these rapid fires, people say, I was just thinking, I was like, I don't know, let's wait for the coffee episode to know what I've said. Because I think in that zest, you just go on and say anything. देखते हैं अभी जब मेरा episode air होता है.
Rapid fire with Kiara Advani. The best compliment you receive for JugJugJeeyo.
Oh, one is tough. I'm remembering the screening and all the people we invited walking out. I remember what most of them had said. I remember Sandeep sir walking out and saying, I didn't know you could do this as well. And
Sandeep
Vanga sir, yeah. And a
उनसे
lot
जो
of
है
people at
उनसे
that
झूठ
screening.
बुलवाना बहुत ही मुश्किल है वो
बहुत
सिर्फ
मुश्किल
सच
है.
बोलते हैं और सच
हाँ
के सिवा
जी.
कुछ बोलते ही नहीं.
Correct. So that's why
चाहे
you know
आपको अच्छा
that it's genuine. And a lot, like you also said, a lot of people said it on my best performances, and specifically the scene that we spoke of. So I think there are those, yeah. And a lot of women actually have written to me, even on Instagram, just talking about how refreshing it was to see, someone portraying a character like Naina in a Hindi film, and whether it's her equation with her husband or her mother-in-law, I felt like it got a lot of love from the audience.
Amazing. All right. Shersha, Bhool Bhulaiya 2 and now JugJugJeeyo. What is your biggest takeaway as an actor from your hat trick of hits?
My biggest takeaway as an actor, just to keep going, to keep your head down and keep going. I feel like that's been the only way I've known how to handle a hit.
Which among the following films has been the biggest game changer for your career according to you? Kabir Singh, Shersha, Good News.
I think Kabir Singh.
Kabir Singh. All right. I will do anything for love except.
Yeah, I'd do anything for love but lose my own individuality. I think
Great.
that definitely.
Who's an actress who carries off saree the best in Bollywood? It can be past.
Rekha ji.
Rekha ji, of
I mean,
course.
she's the epitome of grace and how a woman should look in a sari.
Amazing. All right. Which of the following actors has the best comic timing according to you? Varun Dhawan, Diljit Dosanjh, Kartik Aaryan, Vicky Kaushal.
I think Diljit.
Diljit has hilarious.
He is outstanding. They're all amazing.
Yeah, but Diljit
you can't compare honestly, but Diljit is just
cracking. Yeah, he's next level.
you can't. Like I'm telling you, if you see any of the other takes of Good News, I must be laughing in those takes. That's why they couldn't use them, because it was impossible to keep a straight face in that.
And he
movie
does it with a
journalist.
deadpan expression.
My God, he's
brilliant.
too unreal.
Sanjay Leela Bhansali, S.S. Rajamouli, Rajkumar Irani, a director you can do anything to work with.
All of them.
All of them? Yeah, of course. I'm sure you'd love to do I think all of them, but Sanjay Bhansali, मैं frame की बात आपसे कह रहा था.
जी हाँ.
So the traditional stuff and everything, I think that is something that.
I mean, there's no one who presents you the way Sanjay sir does.
Of course.
And I've said it in so many interviews, I've put it on camera, that I would really love to work with Sanjay sir.
One thing that you really want to accomplish before 2022 ends?
I don't want to say it. I'd rather do it and then you find out.
One thing your fans can expect from your upcoming Telugu film RC15 with Ram Charan?
A lot of fireworks.
A lot of fireworks.
Yeah.
Great. So, Kiara, lovely talking to you as always. Congratulations for JugJugJeeyo and your fantastic journey so far. And happy birthday to you in advance.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
a lot.
much. We always meet before
Around your
my
birthday.
Even
Jay.
Shersha, we did the interview just.
Jay. Yeah, we were in
Kargil.
Kargil.
Yeah.
What a location.
Yeah, what a look. Yeah,
Amazing.
Super.
All right, that's all we have from Bollywood Hungama. Keep on watching.
Hi, this is Kiara Advani and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.